Day 15 of our study through Philippians, and Paul is under house arrest, and we feel like we're under house arrest too. So we're kind of studying through this and seeing how exactly Paul responds to the Philippians, and we're almost done. Tomorrow will be our last lesson. If you haven't caught up yet, feel free to do that. The videos are all very, very short. For those of you at Highland, we're going to do a Zoom class kind of discussing these from the past. But right now, we feel like we're under house arrest too because we're having to stay home. We're trying to continue to do kind of what Paul has said he's doing and what he's encouraging the Philippians to do, which is keep Christ as the focus. And you'll see the lights in the background behind me here. We're trying to do that even for our Sunday morning worship. We're trying to up our game a little bit to help you guys not maybe be as awkward at home and maybe just have a little easier time worshiping at home on Sundays. I thought it'd be cool to let you guys see that. So we're going to go ahead and read. We're going to read chapter 4, verses 10 through 13. Let's read. I rejoice in the Lord greatly that now at length you have revived your concern for me. You were indeed concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. So yesterday, Paul told us to rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. He really wanted to get that point across. Today, he starts out by saying, I rejoiced in the Lord greatly. Why? Because you guys have finally gotten back to me. Paul, he starts out, he says, I rejoice in the Lord greatly that now at length you have revived your concern for me. So he's kind of saying like, finally, you guys have cared about me and you sent Epaphroditus and he's come and he's brought things for him apparently, probably a good bit of things for him for this trip. And he's clarifying though, right after that, he's like, not that you weren't concerned for me. You indeed were concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. He's like, this is the first chance that you've gotten to kind of send stuff to me. And then he kind of clarifies again, and he says, not that I'm in need. And this is where we're going to kind of get into where we can learn something from what Paul's talking about today. He says, not that I'm in need, but I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. Contentment is something that's hard to master, especially when we're stuck at home like this. I saw, Jan showed me that Nintendo Switches have like gone off the shelves like toilet paper. People are trying to fill their lives with something since they're having to stay home. And we have a problem with contentment. Usually that's led from wants in our lives from not having enough or not having as much as we want, or to having lows in life, or being hungry maybe even. But Paul goes through this list and he says that he's learned to be content in any part of his life, whether he's going through highs or through lows, or whether he's full or whether he's hungry, whether he's got too much or too little. He has found the secret to contentment. Now, that might be a really cool secret. That's something we might need. How do you stay content? I'd love to hear the secret. Here's the secret. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. How many times have you heard that verse? That is the secret to Paul's contentment. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We use that verse a lot to kind of push ourselves on and get through hard times. But Paul, when he's talking here, he's talking about that's the secret to his contentment, even in the face of being imprisoned in under house arrest. Whether he's high or low or full or hungry, whether he's got too much or too little, no matter what's going on outwardly, the thing that keeps him content is that he can do all things through him who strengthens me. That's what he says. Who is him? By this point in the book, we should all know, right? The whole book has been over and over again talking about focusing and filtering our lives through Christ. Christ gives him strength. Christ and his gifts allow him to, no matter what's going on, whether there's a global pandemic, whether you're about to have a new child in your home, or whether you're just bored at home, we can be content because we have Christ.